Hi, my name's Paul. This is part 3 of my spiritual awakening. Today I'm going to talk to you about meditation. Now, this follows on from the other 2 videos, so if you're just tuning in now and this is the first one you've watched, I suggest you watch the other 2, but if you don't, I'll just give you a quick rundown if you don't have time. Basically, I ended up in prison, started reading books, spent a lot of time alone, and I started having what's called a spiritual awakening. Now, this spiritual awakening, I realised that we have powers inside ourselves, and these books that I was reading was pointing out how to use them, and it was really, really working. One of these powers was called the law of attraction, and I was asking for things, and literally they were coming. So I kept on reading and I kept on searching after I found this power, because it spurred me on. It gave me such energy and such belief in this new way of thinking, which was super positive as well, because for it to work, for it to have a positive outcome, you have to have a positive mentality to kind of draw these positive situations, people and environments towards you. But what I'm going to talk to you about today is something that happened at the same time as a secret. Okay, now on our wing, we were on different spurs, on different legs. I was on D4, house block 4, D spur. And on this spur, there was a lot of people that were on the same path. So one of them handed me the secret, and we were all exchanging knowledge and these books. In the end, I read over 200 books, all to do with spirituality, where we came from, ancient civilizations, all sorts of stuff. But it all kind of made a big picture, almost like a jigsaw. It was one picture, but each book was a piece of the jigsaw that I needed to find out to fully awaken and enlighten myself. So what I'm going to tell you about now is a person and his advice and what it did for me, and what the beginning of the path that it put me on. So this man's name was Mr. Singh. He wasn't old. I think he was mid-40s, a Sikh man, and he used to meditate. Now, because of all the books that we've been reading, everybody on the wing at the time was very intrigued by this man, because we'd never seen anyone like this. We'd heard about the Buddhist group down in the prison chaplain. They used to facilitate the meditation, but I hadn't got to that stage yet. But I was just reading and finding my own way. I was quite confused because I thought I needed to pick a religion. It was like unfolding before me anyway. But yeah, Mr. Singh. Now I went to him and I said, "Have you got any tips for meditation? Because we're on this path." And he said, "Yeah, just concentrate on the breath. And, if you want to go further," I'm like, "Further? What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, you can use your mind to travel." I'm, What do you mean? He said, literally, the deeper you go into meditation, you can actually leave your body. And you can travel in many, many different ways. Okay. Now I was very intrigued and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm going to give it a go. And he gave me a book, and it was about how to use your mind's eye. And he said to me, "You will see monsters." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, mate." Whatevs. You know what I mean? I thought, monsters, this geezer's off his trolley, you know what I mean? But I'll read the book anyway. So I read it, and I started putting all the techniques into practice, and you know what? It really, really worked. It helped level me out and make me a lot more calm. It's almost meditation, So basically this type of meditation that I'm talking about at the moment is called mindfulness. So mindfulness, you just concentrate on one thing at a time. It's like you're in the here and now. So you can either take a breath, or say if you're at work or something, you might have used it and you don't even realise. So say if you're a chippy, you work with wood, and you've got a skill saw. You mark out your line, you put your hand on there, and you are super, zoned in to what you're doing. Because if you don't, you're going to chop your finger off. You don't realise, but you're using mindfulness. You're concentrating on just one thing. You don't try to think about tying your shoelace up when you're taking this cut, do you? You've got to be focused on the one thing. So, like I said, it really, really helped me. It's like it almost gave me an extra couple of seconds it gets rid of not gets rid of impulsivity, but it kind of gives you an extra second to make a better decision. But that second could feel like a minute. And it was really, really working for me. I made so many good decisions. You know, at the beginning, we used to get a lot of grief for the, for the path that they were taking. And half the time, back then I was a bit of a geezer. I didn't, before that, I wouldn't take anyone's crap, especially not in jail. If these people were bullies, I'd attack them. I swear, but I'm not proud of it now, but I'm just saying, I'm just giving you a bit of background at how I used to be. So, I was really, really starting to feel the benefits of this. But one day, my pal's come in, my pad, and he'd been meditating as well. He spoke to Mr. Singh, and his name was David Lowe. Now, in the previous video, I spoke about a David Lowe from Coventry. Well, it wasn't him. This guy was from Stoke. A bit of a coincidence that they had the same name, but he was like a little bit further than me on the path at the time, because he'd been in a bit longer, and he was really, really reading. He was reading hard. But he's come in my pad and he's like, Tav, this has happened. Oh, I've done this technique in the book. I could see through my mind's eye. I saw the universe and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like, because I'd been reading the same sort of stuff in this book that Mr. Singer gave me. I'm like, how'd you do it? I wanted to know. I was like, how'd you do it? Because obviously in there, we're always looking for an escape. Whether, people take drugs or you want to meditate or whatever. We don't want to be there, obviously. So we were looking for an escape, and that was me anyway. So anyway, I'm like, how'd you do it? He's like, focus on, looking. When you close your eyes, kind of flick your eyes up a little bit and look like that. I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a go tonight. So I did. Anyway, I sat there, I meditated, and, I was mindful, and then I gave it a go. I looked up, and there it was. I could see loads of colours in front of me forming, and it came to like a circle, and then all of a sudden I kind of left my body. Okay, now I went down this tunnel, and it was almost like I was on a roller coaster. There was environment all around me. It was like a rocky environment. It was almost if I was in like some sort of mine system. And then I remember the last bit of the journey on this mind's eye journey, I was going up and up and up and up and up, and all of a sudden I've like kind of broke this barrier and just went like that. And straight away, as soon as it opened, it was like a rainbow edge. This is the only way I can describe it. It was like a window with a rainbow edge, and I've just gone through it. And I knew this is where thoughts are made. And I've tried to look after the thought of knowing where I was, and I opened my eyes, didn't I? And I lost it. I was like, no, what the hell? But you know what? It spurred me on. And wow, did I have some results afterwards. I mastered the technique. Now, so many things happened to me while I was meditating on my mind's eye. And Mr. Singh was right. I saw monsters. Now, I can't explain where they were, but I know what they look like. Trust me. We're going to go into that a little bit later, but he was right. But I'm going to tell you some of the other stories and some of the other things that have happened to me in meditation, okay? Now, like I said, I mastered it. And it's all to do with, this mind's eye is called something called a chakra, okay? Now, these chakras, they run from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of your head, okay? And there are 7 main ones. You have smaller ones in your body, but these main 7 chakras, okay, they are your link to the universe. Because, come on, we are, if you think about it, pan out from the earth, you were just a speck of dust in the universe. The planet is, and so are you, but you're part of it. You're connected to the universe, okay? And these chakras, when you get them aligned, and when you get them full of energy, okay, you can actually, really, really, you can leave at will your body, okay? Now, I started, messing around with these chakras, and I could feel the energy rising. And every book that I was reading was kind of, like I said about in the last videos about synchronicity. Every book that I was getting while I was doing this was giving me advice, and it was like the next book, then it'd give me another step, and it kind of built me up to what was going to happen next. Okay, now in the end, I learned how to use these chakras, but the main 2 that I want to talk about is the mind's eye and the crown chakra. Okay, Now, one day I was sat there, and this is God's honest truth, okay? Now, this is where it gets a little bit hard for people to understand, but I hope you do. And I don't lie, okay? What I would not lie to make myself look like a weirdo, all right? So, in 2008, my father passed away, and his name was Simon Paul Wilson. My first name is named after his middle name. And anyway, I'm meditating, okay? And at the time, I had a little problem on the wing. You know, I owed someone only a couple of quid on the canteen sheet, but I didn't have it. And I'm the sort of guy that if I owe you money and I haven't got it, it stresses me out. I want you paid. I'm an honest geezer. I don't want to mess you around. And anyway, this was, even though there was no pressure on me at all, I put pressure on myself. So I'm sat there and I'm meditating. And the universe must have knew that obviously I'm stressing about this. So anyway, I've connected these two chakras, and it was like my head. I mean, you can feel it when you light the chakra up, because it's like pressure on your head, and here it's like you can feel it spark. You can actually feel the energy. But I'd built it up that much. I'd been doing that much work. Every breath that I took, it was like boom. It was like massive light. And this is where all of the tales and, like, you know, ancient pictures of like Jesus with this gold thing, this is his chakras lighting up. And I understood it afterwards, because wow, one day I lit them up together, and it was like I had no top of my head. It was just light, and I was connected to the universe through my head, okay, through my brain. And anyway, I've got this problem, so I'm meditating on. I've done this, and all of a sudden, it's lit up, like I said, and I got the sequence of events, what I had to say to this guy to get me out of trouble, okay? And do you know what? It was the way it went in my head. I knew it wasn't my thought, okay? So anyway, I've got out my meditation, I'm like, wow. I'm just tingling head to toe now. I'm like, wow, who was that? Because I knew it wasn't my thought. Anyway, I had this thought in my head, and it was turn your stereo on. It was turn your stereo on. So I've turned my stereo on. And like I said, I was getting messages from before, like these synchronicities and stuff like these coincidences. I'm lying on my bed. I'm like, who was that? And this song came on, and it was about an item of clothing. So I'm going through everyone that had passed away for some reason, everybody that had passed away in my head, to try and match this piece of clothing to them. Anyway, I did DAB stereo, and when you've got your stereo on, it scrolls across with the tune, what the tune's called. Anyway, I'm thinking about who it could be, and the tune nearly ran out. And just as it did, I've looked at it, and it said, remember my dad's name? And it said, the tune was called Diamonds in the Shoes by Paul Simon. I'm like, Dad, I just knew. And then all of a sudden it was like, the room went freezing cold. And my stereo started crackling. Like, my signal was always 100%, but this was 0. And I'm telling you, he was with me. And because I was so connected to the universe, that I connected to his energy. And we can all do it. You know, we think that our loved ones are gone, but they're not. They're not at all. Their energy carries on, and you can contact them, and they speak to you. They'll inspire you, and they'll be giving you energy now. If you've got people that have passed away, we all have. They're all there. I'm telling you, they're all watching over you. I'm telling you. But it's like you download information when you connect these two chakras. And basically what he told me was to be vegan, to never eat an animal ever again. And he said for me to chase a romance, you know, that I thought I'd found my soulmate, and he told me to chase it. And the third one, he told me that I should, you know, he told me that I should take this holiday that I've been thinking about. And my dad was never there when I was a kid, and it just changed. It was just the most beautiful moment for me, because you know, he knew everything that was going on or what I was going through. And it was just like, wow. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And that was it then. It spurred me on. I was on it then. I'm telling you, you want to see what I was doing, like, every day. And meditating, like, 3-4 hours a day, like, boom. And what was going on was, you know, these two chakras, I was connecting. I was downloading information. Anyway, the next thing that happened, okay, about 4 days after that, I'm sat there, I'm meditating, and again, I've connected mind's eye, but it's even stronger than before. Something happened around me, and basically everything around me, it kind of went golden when I've come out of meditation. It was weird. It was like this different light, and I'm sat on my bed, and I've just closed my eyes for a second, and all I can see is the most beautiful cosmos. The universe. I was watching it, I was seeing how it was formed in these beautiful colours, and I'm like, wow. I said, if the creator, I said, I'm in absolute awe of you. And all of a sudden, it was like I was touched. It was like I was touched by love. I swear to God, it was the most amazing thing ever. I mean, I've got a daughter, I don't see her anymore, but when I looked into her eyes, this feeling was 10,000 times stronger. It was overwhelming. It was sometimes it was unbearable almost. I've got tears drawing down my eyes. I've never felt this feeling before. And then I said, I will serve you forever. Whatever it was, whatever you want to call it, God or universe, I'll call it love. And that is what I'm served. And that is what I serve. And that's why I'm stood in front of you here today as well. Because trust me, after that, like, as soon as that happened, you know, what happened after, it was amazing. It was like I became completely psychic. I put my stereo on and I knew 5 tunes in a row what they were going to be. And I'd never put this station on before. There was no way that it was on a repeat, you know, cycle like most radio stations are. I knew 5 tunes in a row what it was going to be. Okay. And then I downloaded more information. And this is the real reason why I'm stood in front of you today. And a lot of you that know me, okay, I speak about, you know, what's going on the telly and the media. But what I was told is that a war is coming. The people that are above have had this planned for years and years. And it's almost time. And that I had to come and I had to speak out. Now, whether you think I'm mad, I don't really give a shit anymore. Literally. You have to take note of what's going on, because if we don't, if we stay the way we are and we carry on with this hatred, it's going to destroy us all, literally. Okay, I can see it, and so can everyone else that's awake. So desperate for all of you to get involved, to just be this peace-loving community as we should be. Don't take any notice of what's going on the news. They're trying to brainwash you, trying to turn you against Russia, North Korea, building the wall in Mexico, USA. It's a serious issue. If we don't do something about it, we're all going to be the victims of it. We're not going to survive because there will be no fight. There's nuclear war. But I did have some good things happen to me. I'm sorry about that. I'm passionate about it because it's real. Whether you see it now or not, it's going to happen. Do you know what? I shouldn't even have said it like that. But it happened to me, and all of a sudden as well, as soon as that happened, I started getting loads of synchronicities about war and things like this. You know, I'm very, very worried about the situation of the world, because I don't want my daughter's daughter or my daughter's children to grow up in this garbage heap that we're creating. And that's what it is. But it's all behind the scenes. People are just watching the news and they're just taking notice. Just beg you all just to sit down with each other and just come together. You know, be positive towards each other. Don't judge each other. We're all here together. We're all one big family. Whether you like it or not, we're all connected. You know, this is our mission almost. We're here to make this planet better. Okay. Now, that's all I'm going to say on the war situation thing, okay, because it is deep. I'm sorry that I had to say it like that, but it's real. Okay? Take a look around you. Take a look on the media at the moment. What are they trying to say? What are they trying to tell you? They're trying to turn you against each other. Different races. They're trying to divide and conquer. Even Brexit. You're either in or you're out. How about, yeah, that's it. But anyway, what I'm going to tell you next is some of the other stuff that I've done with my mind's eye. Now, basically, when I was reading the David Icke books, it spoke about that we can only see a certain degree of light. Okay, now that some light is invisible to us, like infrared, ultraviolet. Okay, there's a much deeper spectrum. We see like 0.08 of light. Okay, so whatever we see is just matter, light bouncing off matter, simple physics. Okay, now in meditation, what you can do is you can actually step outside of your body. Now, it's your eyes that decode this light. Okay, but when you can leave your body, your thought and your feeling, it's like you've got a different body, but it's light itself, okay? And you can travel other pieces of light. And this is called astral projection. Now, for all of those that don't know about this, I suggest you have a little look on YouTube because, this video is 21 minutes long now and I don't want to keep going on, but the main focus is that, meditation is a superpower. Okay, you have powers, all right? Law of attraction is one of them. Meditation is another. Not only does it calm you, but when you master that, you can leave your body and you can travel the universe at your will with an intention, okay? Now, there are different techniques, and like I said, I just wanted to tell you my story. So if you're really interested, there's so much you can research on this. I can tell you a few things now. Remote viewing, yeah? Now, the military use remote viewers for psychic spying. Imagine this. Okay, now they don't tell you about this, but YouTube it. You yourself and everybody else on this planet, through your mind's eye, can view any point in this universe, okay? So what they've done is they've trained these psychics to spy on like strategic targets. So the Americans will be spying on the Russians will be spying on America through this remote viewing and other different powers as well. They've mastered all sorts they're not telling you about. I'm telling you, these powers are in every single one of us and they're keeping it from you because they want to keep you dumbed down and they want to keep you watching your telly. But really, if you got rid of that, like I did, all you have to do is close your eyes and you have the best cinema seat in the world. You can view anything. You can go anywhere if you master it and if you believe. Okay? Now, that was a bit deep. I apologise for how passionate I got about it, but I am very passionate about this. I don't want to see this world in tatters. I want my daughter and her children to have an amazing planet to live on, fresh air to breathe, peace and harmony, happiness, equality. These are the things that we should be striving for. Now watch the news and see what kind of message they're trying to send out. Okay? My name's Paul. Thanks for watching. Again, the next one's going to be about meditation as well, but just wanted to tell you that because it's really, really important. And the faster people can see what's going on, what they're trying to make you think, the faster that we can wake up and become who we are truly meant to be. Thank you for watching.